So as you know, we do have a municipality focus, and that's where we're going to sit right now with the Emfuleni Municipality. We're joined by the municipality's Freedom Front Plus councillor, Gerda Senekal, who joins us via a video link. Gerda, a good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure you would have heard some of the voices reflected in the package that we just played. Some concern by stakeholders that if nothing is done, Emfuleni Municipality will reach a point of no return. I can't imagine what that actually means and what it looks like. But let's start with this. Emfuleni officers, are they locked up over non-payment?
Good evening, Naledi, and thank you for the opportunity. And yes, indeed. What happened on Tuesday is not the first time, especially for this revenue department and the customer care services as well. Last year, twice it happened as well. So yes, it's not the first time.
And so how did we get to a point where revenue offices are closed and so no work can get done?
It is actually a history of collapsing and a history of dysfunctionality with this municipality. And also it's all over the news that our account has been attached by Randwater yet again. And as we can go back historically, that last year it was attached for almost 7 months by Randwater, and yet again we are here today. We are struggling to get to our accounts and pay our monthly accounts to Eskom as well as Randwater, and that has led to where we are today.
Yeah. Your understanding of what is actually happening with the Randwater bill, we have one councillor there that we heard in the package saying that, well, at this point, some of that debt is being written off. Is that correct?
Technically not quite correct. In the previous months, Randwater came out and said that we actually owe them 1.7 billion, and historical debt of that 1.7 is 1.3 billion. The reason why they attached the bank account is that they accumulated 446 million and that they needed to pay off their World Bank loan to them from Randwater to them. Hence, they took the account very strategically. And yeah, that's where we stand. We actually owe them just 1.3 billion currently. So no, it wasn't written off. It's still not going to be written off. Once we start with the SPV, and which the Freedom Front Plus within council did not agree to that, because we feel that it's not going to be publicly beneficially for all the people in Emfuleni. They say they're going to incorporate the 1.3 billion, and then after it starts, then they will write it off. So no financial institution doesn't make sense that they will take so much debt and just say, write with us an agreement and then we'll take your debt. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's a lot to be said here. You've got ratepayers, for instance, that my colleague spoke to there, who says, well, we've been paying our rates and taxes, so we should be having services. Where did the money go? So I think what I want to sit with is, from a Freedom Front Plus's perspective, your understanding of ratepayer behavior in Emfuleni.
Well, as everybody now, there is a 50% unemployment rate currently in Emfuleni, and the 40% that's left that is paying is currently the guys that are financing the municipality. Out of that 40%, it's around about 22% that do pay their bills. Now, there is what the current ANC government is not talking about is that there's around about 130,000 houses that is getting services that is unmetered and not paying for services. So hence, that is the biggest struggle why we cannot get to paying what we should. So I can understand the struggle from every single ratepayer that do pay their account and those that is getting services that are not paying their account. At a monthly revenue income, we do receive between 300 and 320 million rand per month. But that goes into a black hole because I cannot say where the money is going. There's still potholes. The water is running within the street. Sewer is running in the street. We completely and numerous times sit without electricity. We have a substation that is blowing up every second week, and then these people are left 3 to 4 weeks without electricity. So yes, the big question and the million-dollar question is, where does the money go to? Well, we do have our speculation where the money goes to.
I'd like to hear those speculations, and I'm sure that residents who are going 3 to 4 weeks without electricity, I mean, in winter, are desperate to hear what some of those ideas are as to where the money goes to. We're hearing of an alleged 860 million rand that was stolen.
Well, it goes into contractors and irregular contractors that is being given a tender. For instance, in my time within the municipality, I have incurred that a catering company is getting a tender for fixing a road. And I'm like, how is that possible? So the systems within the municipality and the supply chain management within the municipality is not actually doing the work. The market-related finance that they go and have to look at what is best for the municipality and what is the best quality for the municipality within the money that we have, they just don't do. We had a contract that said to supply water bottles for council when we have council meetings with 28 rand for a bottle of water, 250 milliliters of bottled water, and that was about around 4 or 5 years ago. And that was the same time when the irregular contractors and tenders were exposed, which you were talking about, of 870 million rand. So it's irregular contracts that is been given out, and up until today, it still happens. I can allude to a 20 million rand spending of the hexing meters that was done 2 or 3 years ago. Where's the meters? 20 million rand was spent, but where's the meters currently? I can't say where the meters is. I can't find the meters. If you go and have a look at where our stock rooms is, there's nothing in the we don't have anything in our stock rooms. So that's the kind of thing. Our money flows through holes within the municipality's financial systems where they cannot be accountable. It's orchestrated chaos from the ruling party and taking money where it should not be going.
You're talking about big amounts of money, and yet the unpaid rent is a mere 2.6 million.
Well, that's just per month. They actually owe more than 1 month. But as I said, it happened more than once. Last year, it was more than 2 or 3 times that happened. And especially in this, let's just sit on the OK building where the revenue department is parked. That contract expired already about 3 years ago. So we are going on a month-to-month, which is irregular in any case, because the MFMA says strictly that we can only have a contract with any service provider up until 3 years, for 36 months. Now we are past, we're going to 7, 8 years, and we are still there. And they are still paying me monthly, and it's an exorbitant amount. Now, they are looking towards a new building in town to go and rent there to the amount of 1.1 million rand per month. Now, we have gotten an unfunded budget for the past 6 years. Now, I'm trying to understand, and when we do come in council, and I heard that what the MMC said earlier, that in council, the councillors make the decision and everybody should take responsibility for that, but that is not true. We as opposition, we vote against an unfunded budget. We tell them, we say, we do not approve with this, but the majority just push it through. And they, with their coalition partners, they don't care. They just push it through as long as they comply, because we vote against non-compliance. And currently, this is non-compliance going on within this municipality.
Yeah, well, stakeholders are describing a desperate situation at the Emfuleni municipality. Who needs to do what? Who needs to step in? And we're talking about urgently, right? What needs to be done quickly?
Well, we can say that provincial and national should step in. Well, they had their chance in 2018 up until 2022. Nothing happened. We went from good to bad to worse. Currently, we're a half-sinking ship. Last week, they were here. They heard from Cocta, National Treasury sit in a meeting. Cocta had to give them a report and say, what went wrong? Well, everything went wrong. The people that they sent to come and do stuff, they did wrong. It just didn't help. So now they want to come in and say, okay, let's put them under 1391C, which means maybe a whole dissolution of the municipality, and within 19 days go into the new election. Maybe if we get some new regime change, and then there can be policy change and new thinking people, and then we can get Emfuleni a little bit better. But the most important stakeholder within this municipality thinks they do not have the say to say enough is enough, is the community, is the paying residents. It's time for them to stand up and say enough is enough. They do have the power to stop what's currently going on. So yes, the stakeholders, for them to step in is very important.
Yeah. Gerda, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it. And of course, we'll continue looking at the many challenges that are being faced by Emfuleni municipality that now has its office is locked up over the non-payment of rent. Gerda Senekal is with the Freedom Front Plus in Emfuleni.